bursts of heavy breathing, but then you have these bursts of very slow breathing. And this was developed in the 80s, and they started opening up to studies. And there's, just as I had mentioned, there's been 60 independent studies showing how effective this stuff is and that have been done at Harvard, that have been done.
Um, Hello and welcome. We're going to get started very shortly here. Please be patient with us. We're going to be starting at around 7:30 Mountain Standard Time. Looking forward to all of you joining us. Hi, Adi. Can you hear me? Yeah, please. Adi, can you hear me?
Shalom.
Shalom, shalom lach. How are you doing?
Ah,
Baruch Hashem, Hakol Mitsuyan. We're going to be starting in just a few minutes. We're still finishing off some last minute things on our end.
yeah, no worries. Hello, Razy.
How are you?
Doing well, thank you.
Thank you for doing this. We're very much excited about it. Looking forward.
Me too. Hi, Francis.
Are you on Facebook?
Glad you made it.
Hi. Yeah, I figured it out.
Oh, good. I know this new world of technology.
Yes, it has its disadvantages, but it also has its advantages.
Definitely.
You know, lots of people joining from all over, which wouldn't be able to join for in-person event, which is nice.
Yes. Are the kids asleep?
They're in bed.
I'm impressed. I told my son about that the other day. I said,
How
you
old are
know, he's 6.
Oh, so cute.
So I said, you know, a lot of kids are going to bed by 7:30 in bed. That's it.
7 o'clock. That's it. They're all in there.
That's amazing.
Well, our 2 older girls are in Texas, so they're not home. But our little kids, yeah, in bed by 7 o'clock.
How old are they?
The ones that are in Texas now are 12 and 10. So we have 12, 10, 8, 7, almost 4, and almost 2.
Wow.
You've been busy.
Yes,
Oh, yeah.
they have.
Busy with blessings. We're gonna wait till a few more people log on, and we're gonna get our Facebook loaded. We have lots of people that join over there. Our last event, we had, I think, 82 people that logged in via Facebook. So
Wow.
yeah, I think it's
That's
easy. Like,
incredible.
roll through,
Yeah.
and you know, it's easier for
Yeah.
people.
Yeah.
I'm going to go on mute.
Hi, Ellie. You're muted. Hey, Aaron.
Can you say something, Adi, so I can see?
Can you hear me?
Okay, perfect. Okay, good. Thanks.
We on the big screen?
No, I'm somewhere else. You're on a little
Oh,
ish laptop. Sorry.
okay. Evan, I love your picture. That's a great picture. Hi, Babs.
We are going to be starting in just 1 minute. Thank you for your patience. We're going to be starting in 1 minute. We're about to go live on Facebook.
Hi, Rabbi.
Janice.
Hey, Babs. So good to see you.
Hi, you two. How are you?
Hello, can
For some reason, I can't hear.
Because we're live on Facebook. Can everybody hear us?
Yes.
Okay.
there seems to be something a little bit
yeah.
technically. Can everyone hear me?
Now we can.
Hello and welcome one and all. Thank you so much for joining us for this evening's Chabad virtual presentation with Adi Amar titled Breathing for Equilibrium. My name is Rabbi Zalman Mendelson, and I have the pleasure of serving as the co-director of the Chabad Jewish Center of Wyoming together with my dear wife, Razy. It is wonderful to see familiar faces and my great pleasure to welcome those of you who are joining us for the first time. Our mission at the Chabad Jewish Center is to share the beauty of Jewish tradition, history, education, and Torah wisdom with the Jewish community and beyond. Most importantly, during these challenging times when people are isolated and separated from one another, we know that it is of particular importance for us to be bringing people together in a state of unity for any and every reason whatsoever. Just the unity itself is of tremendous value. I'd like to begin by just bringing to your attention one upcoming event that we will have on Tuesday, July 28th at 7:30 p.m. Mountain Time. We will be hosting an event titled The Innovation Nation for Everyone, Technion's Role in Engaging and Educating Israel's Ultra-Orthodox Community with David Shivo and Scott Leemaster. The schedule for this evening will begin with a fairly casual discussion that my wife Razy and I will have with our guest of honor, Adi Amar. During the time that we are engaged in this conversation, please send in your questions to the chat so we can add those questions to the conversation and possibly give you the opportunity to be able to ask your questions directly to Adi. As all of you know, during this challenging period of time with so many people struggling due to COVID and the after effects, we have many in the Jewish community and beyond that have reached out to us to request assistance during this challenging time. We have been visiting homes throughout the Teton County area every single day, delivering food, supplies, basic home necessities to ensure that people have what they need to survive during this time. Please consider making a one-time tax-deductible contribution to our Chabad Jewish Center so we can continue to support our community with dignity during these difficult times. You can visit jewishwyoming.com/donate to make your contribution. Before we begin our discussion, I'd like to share with you the background and bio of Adi. Adi Amar was introduced to yoga in 1994 and has been studying and practicing yoga sincerely since the age of 15. She completed her first formal training in 2001 at Mount Madonna under the guidance of Baba Haridas. If I mess up any of these words, Adi, you'll help me out later. You'll forgive me. Adi integrates yoga into her life as a mental, emotional, and physical healing system. She dedicates her daily practices into powerful breathing techniques and meditation that have transformed her relationship with stress, anxiety, and sympathetic overdrive. Through daily practice, Adi believes that one can take charge of their inner experience and move gracefully through life's daily challenges, unscathed in the face of difficulty. Adi weaves detailed alignment into vinyasa flow style and supported chair and rope classes. She believes that consistent practice with open awareness is the window into reorganizing old mental patterns and tendencies that have been knowingly or unknowingly ingrained into our being and influence how we operate and experience life. Through utilizing technologies for well-being, I don't think Adi means over here the Facebook type technologies. Adi strives to inspire a passion for regular practice and one's ability to take responsibility for their own inner landscape to experience life to the fullest. Adi offers innumerable methods for individual growth and evolution within inspiring sessions and courses that integrate yoga as a holistic healing system. Adi Amar is the co-founder and owner of Teton Yoga Shala, a boutique yoga studio in Wilson that offers small, semi-private and private yoga sessions, as well as online yoga classes. She also teaches for the online yoga program, Yoga Today. Please put your hands together for a warm Chabad welcome to Adi Amar. Thank you so much for being here with us. Adi, thank you for gracing our community with your wisdom and your presence.
Thank you so much for having me.
Before we begin, I think it would be important for our audience to get to know you a little bit. First of all, how are you and your family faring during this challenging period of time on a personal level?
You know, we are doing quite well considering the circumstances. We, of course, have the normal ups and downs, but I feel we're very blessed. We have our health. We live in this spectacular place. There's really been a closeness that we have all experienced as a result of just being together pretty much 24/7. And you know, we've had to work through some of our personality differences, but all in all, we're doing really well. So thank you for asking.
Amazing. So happy to hear that. Every family is taking it differently. Some are really finding the beauty in these moments of togetherness, and others are finding it stressful, which I'm sure you'll be able to help us out with a little bit. So give us a little bit of background. What inspired you into yoga, breathing? Where did it all come from? You said that when you were 15, you got inspired. What inspired you?
So yoga really came into my life as a healing system, not physically, more on the mental and emotional side. My mother was in a very critical car accident when I was 15. And I really struggled with the emotional consequences of that. And I didn't really know how to direct my emotions at that time in my life. You know, I'm sure hormones and just not having tools and skills. And so when I was introduced to yoga really as a emotional and mental healing system, it instantly resonated with me. I felt that I was immediately given this gift that gave me just the capacity to handle all of the different emotions and kind of old stuff that was coming up from this experience that I had with my mom. And at this time in my life, my mom and I's roles really changed. So I kind of took the role of the mother, and she took the role of a child. And yeah, the practices of yoga were just, they saved my life, really.
Wow, thank you very much for that background so we get a sense as to the personal side of how yoga has really been there for you in a way that has helped you manage through your own personal life crisis. Tell us a little bit about, for those of us who are new to this subject, who haven't experienced the joys of yoga ourselves, including myself. I go to a gym twice a week together with my wife, we kickbox, but yoga hasn't been part of our lives. I don't know if it will ever be for me. I'm not the flexible type. I'm joking. But perhaps you can give us a little bit of background about what yoga is, a little bit about breathing, some of the different technologies, some of the different names, so we have an overall sense for those of us who are coming to this for the first time. And then if you can, share with us some of the techniques and give us some real examples of what we can do breathing-wise to enhance our daily lives.
So, you know, one of the misperceptions of yoga is that you have to be flexible to practice yoga. Another misperception of yoga is that it's really just this physical practice. You know, the West has really made yoga to appear as just another part of your fitness routine. You know, it's something I'm going to fit in on a Tuesday, and maybe I'll get it in another time during the week. And it's just going to be a moment for me to physically move my body, and maybe I'll breathe as I move. And this is really a misnomer about yoga. You know, yoga is a daily practice. It's a practice that requires your attention and your awareness, your ability to really just be steady with what is unfolding and what is arising. And there are many practices that can get us there. There are many practices that can lead us to this space of really connection and unity, connection with all of the aspects of who we are physically, mentally, emotionally, energetically, and then our connection with this entire existence, and really the ultimate understanding that we're all interconnected. And so for many people, you know, you may start a yoga practice with physical postures, but ultimately the physical poses were designed to actually develop a strong and stable vehicle, body, to really transport you to the deeper layers of your being and to align and integrate into the deeper aspects of self and existence. So the postures are ultimately there to prepare us to sit for the more internal, quiet practices. And that's where breathing and meditation come in as a really critical part of the yogic journey or the yogic process. You know, for many, many years, yoga was a very physical practice for me. Being young, being introduced to the system at a very young age, I had a lot of energy. I needed to move that energy. And physically, Hatha yoga is really the yoga of the physical postures. That really resonated with me. But as I got older and as life experience started
Is everybody
to...
hearing Adi a little frozen, or is that just on my end?
Am I frozen?
No, just on your end.
Okay, you're frozen. So, you know, as the path and the process deepens for the individual, naturally, people are more drawn and pulled to these more internal practices. And, you know, the connection between, for me, between breath and meditation and combating stress and anxiety was a huge turning point in my life as my responsibilities became, you know, tenfold. Managing and handling these normal challenges that we all are facing in life really started to weigh on me. And it wasn't until a breathing and meditation practice became a really consistent part of my life that all of the blessings of yoga started to unfold in every moment, in every aspect, in every relationship, in every encounter. And that's really what the system of yoga is there to do. It's to enhance our perception so we have clarity, so we can connect with ourselves and what's happening around us. And the entire process of yoga is just to really enhance our perception, the way that we see the present moment, the way that we interpret the present moment, how we choose to handle ourselves within the present moment, and really learning to take personal responsibility. And we do have to practice certain things to kind of clear the mind. You know, it's like a daily practice is what gives us the opportunity to almost do a house cleaning every single day. You know, we sweep the floors, we clean the windows, we take out the trash. And if we don't do those things, you know, things start to stink. Our house gets dirty, our house gets dusty, and then the way that we perceive what's unfolding in life becomes distorted. So ultimately, you know, Zalman, I think you can integrate yoga into your life as something that you can really integrate for your own well-being. You don't have to show up to a gym and put your leg behind your head. It's so much more than that. So
if I could do everything besides for putting my leg behind my head, it would be healthier for society and healthier for me. I'd be happy to take on all of the ideas, perhaps, and the spiritual focus and the general calm that I think could all benefit me and the people around me. I don't know if Razy wants to see me with my feet behind my head.
no, we might have to carry you out.
So what you're describing is almost more like an emotional or like a therapeutic sort of thing versus a workout. Is that correct?
Yeah, you know, it's important to remember that we're not just emotional beings. We're not just mental beings. We're not just physical beings. We're not just energetic. We're all of those aspects. We align all aspects of who we are through the practice of yoga. And, you know, one of the definitions of yoga is that yoga is ultimately the intentional calming, quieting, organizing of the impulses within our mind. We tend to be really compulsive creatures, and our mental process can get the best of us. And so when we learn to take the seat of the witness, the seat of awareness, we can observe the mind stuff. We can observe the waves, the impulses, the agitations that are arising within our field of consciousness, and we can actually start to redirect what's happening within us the way we want it to be. Because everything that we're experiencing in our lives is happening within us, but we know very little, we pay very little attention to what's happening inside. Most of our attention is outward bound. Most of our focus is outward bound. And we allow what's happening outside of us to really influence and determine what our experience is internally. And so the whole process of yoga is to actually turn that around, to go inward bound, so we can start to navigate this inner being start to get to know what's happening within ourselves and actually create an atmosphere internally that we want to experience life through. And then what's happening within ourselves is what influences the outer world, rather than the outer world influencing the inner world. And so, you know, so much of the yogic sciences and processes are to just turn you inside. And we can do this through physical postures. Okay, that's the most gross layer of the practice. We can do this through breathing practices to really enhance our energies. Because let's face it, you know, this path inside, it's an arduous path. It's not always smooth. It's not easy. It takes discipline. It takes perseverance. It takes commitment. It takes diligence. So we need a lot of energy to really transport ourselves to these deeper dimensions. And then through breathing practices, we can really calm the mind and prepare the mind to meditate. And meditation is really our ability to be in that seat of the witness. And this is when we start to resolve a lot of our persona identifications and a lot of our mental and emotional issues that we knowingly or unknowingly have, actually hidden from us. They're unseen. And so we get this opportunity when we sit quietly with ourselves to look at all of that stuff and to start asking ourselves important questions, you know, just like you would ask a new friend questions about themselves. We get to have that experience with ourselves. And then ultimately, as we start to align and integrate the physical, the mental, the emotional, and the energetic, this is when the natural spontaneous response is to feel joy. It's to feel bliss, and it's to experience life from that place. So there are many methods. There are many roads. There are, you know, we're all in different places at different times of our lives, and we need different things. So, you know, in my life, for example, early in my life, the physical practice was really important. Now it's become more of a quiet sitting practice.
So interesting. So as you spoke about posture, I noticed I straightened my back. And as you spoke about breathing, I noticed my breath, you know, going maybe a bit smoother in and out. So can you teach us a little bit, something, show us some different techniques, the name, what you love about them, and just some little thing that we can each sort of, you know, practice while we're sitting at the computers, or just take with us as we go through our lives.
Yeah, and one thing I want to mention about the breath is that we all know, you know, the breath is with us all the time, but we are seldomly conscious of our breath. And there is a direct link and relationship between your breath and the nervous system. And your nervous system is the master controller of all of your bodily functions. And so one thing that I really hope we can all take away from integrating a regular breathing practice into our lives is that, you know, for our immune health, for our mental health, for our hormonal health, regulating your nervous system is really critical. And the inhalation of the breath that you take is really the activating, energizing side of your nervous system. The exhalation is the calming, the quieting, the relaxing side of the breath. And just by turning attention towards your breath at any given moment in the day, you know, you can utilize this tool anytime, anywhere, under any circumstance. So it's powerful. It's powerful, but we don't pay much attention to it. So I'd like to share two different breathing practices with you. One, to really just settle your nerves, to really just bring a sense of stability and harmony to your system. So when you're feeling really frenetic, you know, we're really this pedal to the metal society. We're always on the go. We're rushing from one thing to the next. We take very little time to really sit and absorb and process a project that we complete or something that we've accomplished. And so just taking time to focus on the exhalation is a really powerful tool to bring you back to the present moment. And the breath is only happening in the moment. So when you turn your awareness to your breath, you're really turning your awareness to the moment, and you're accepting and allowing the moment to be what it is and unfold as it unfolds. The second technique that I'll share with you guys is a breath to really help with anxiety. And anxiety is really our fixation and our worry about something that has not yet happened. So I think we're all experiencing that to some degree right now, because we really don't know one day from the next. And listen, we never know one day from the next. We're never guaranteed what's going to happen tomorrow. What's that?
I said, we just think we do.
We think we do. And right now it's really in our face. Right now we really have to acknowledge, like, I know nothing about what the next day holds for me. And so to really be present with today is a gift. So the second breath will be more of a breath for anxiety. You guys ready?
We're ready. Bring it on.
All right. So find a seat that's comfortable and alert. So it's best to sit with your spine erect and with your head free. So no support behind your head. If you want support behind your back, you can lean up against the wall or find a chair, and just turn your palms upward on your thighs. So this palm position is really a position of receptivity. And also the way that we hold our hands down or up, different mudras with the hands, affects the flow of the breath and affects energy in your body. So we're going to have the hands turned upward upon your thighs, and just rest your palms gently, relax your arms, and close your eyes. And right away, go inside into a space, a vast, open stillness and quietude. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, relax. Take another deep, smooth breath in. Exhale, relax even more. And take one more deep breath in. Exhale, make your relaxation total. With your attention turned towards your breath, breathe slowly and smoothly through the rings of your nostrils. Allow your inhalation to deepen down into the lower lobes of your lungs, feeling your abdomen expand. And as you exhale, slow down your breath and make your breath a little bit longer than the inhalation. Pause at the bottom of the breath. Inhale, breathe slowly and smoothly into the lower lobes of your lungs. Gently pause at the top of your breath. Exhale, slow, smooth, full breath out. Elongate your exhalation beyond the duration of the inhale. Inhale, slowly breathe into the lower lobes of your lungs. Exhale, slowly elongate the breath. At the bottom of the exhale, take a moment to pause. And now inhale, slowly pull your breath into the lower lobes of your lungs. Pause at the top of the inhale. Exhale, slowing down the breath. Elongate your breath longer than the inhale. And now mentally count the duration of the breath. Inhale for a count of 4. Pause. Exhale, double the length of the breath for a count of 8. Pause. Keep your mouth gently closed. Inhale for a count of 4. Pause. Exhale for a count of 8. Pause. Inhale, a count of 4. Pause. Exhale, a count of 8. Pause. Inhale, 4. Pause. Exhale, 8. Pause. Inhale for 4. Pause. Exhale for 8. Pause. Continue on your own for a few more rounds. Keep your face, your jaw totally relaxed. And then very slowly release the control over your breath. And watch the natural flow of your breath. Take a moment to reflect. Notice your mindscape. Notice, do you feel more settled, calmer, quieter, more relaxed? And then gently take your time. When you're ready, open your eyes. And just take a moment. So hopefully it felt nice in there
Oh my gosh, I almost fell asleep.
as you settle. So this next technique, we'll breathe through the nose, nose and mouth. Okay, so there's 4 stages to this. Let me answer this question because this is an important question. Why is the exhalation longer than the inhalation? Is that the question? I only saw part of it. So the exhalation, like I said, is the calming, cooling, quieting, relaxing side of the breath. So the exhalation is the parasympathetic side of your nervous system. Most people are operating from a sympathetic response to most things. The sympathetic side of the nervous system is your fight or flight response. This is the stress response. And when we want to really combat stress, and I say combat because we really do have to do something, okay? We want to activate the parasympathetic side of the nervous system. And the exhalation, when you elongate it like that, activates the relaxation response, which is the parasympathetic side. This is the ability for you to rest and digest, tend and befriend. This is your ability to experience intimacy, connection, community. So it's when we're in a relaxation response that we can really create and manifest the life and the atmosphere from which we want to experience this existence. When we're in a constant fight or flight response, it's very difficult to really create. And when we're in a sympathetic response, that's when our immune system is weakened. That's when we start to have cardiovascular issues, our heart rate increases, our blood pressure increases. We start to acquire oxidative stress within the body because we don't exhale enough. We don't release enough CO2 when we're in that stress response. So when you elongate the exhalation, it turns on the parasympathetic response. Okay, so the next breath is for anxiety. So this breath has 4 stages to it. The first stage, we'll inhale through the nose and we'll exhale out the nose. Just slow, smooth, full breaths in and out. The second stage, you'll inhale through the mouth and you'll exhale out the mouth. Okay, so the lips are just slightly pierced and it's a very smooth, like you're drinking in air through a straw. And then just a very gentle and smooth exhale. The third stage, you'll inhale through the nose and you'll exhale out the mouth. And I'll talk us through this, so you don't have to remember. And then the fourth stage, you'll inhale through the mouth and you'll exhale out the nose. And then we'll do that again and again and again. Okay, so 4 stages: inhale nose, exhale mouth, exhale mouth, inhale nose, exhale mouth, inhale mouth, exhale nose. Don't let that make you anxious. Turn your palms upward, find a comfortable and erect spine. So you organize your seat in such a way that spontaneously you feel this rise, you feel this lift, this buoyancy through your spine. And right away, just take a smooth inhalation. Exhale, relax. Inhale gently, slowly, and smoothly through your nose. Exhale slowly, smoothly, and fully out the nose. With an open mouth, inhale slowly and smoothly through your mouth. Keep your mouth open. Exhale slowly and smoothly out your mouth. Gently close your mouth. Inhale through your nose. Gently open your mouth and exhale out the mouth. Keep your mouth open. Inhale smoothly through your mouth. Close your mouth. Exhale slowly and smoothly out your nose. Keep your mouth closed. Inhale through the nose. Exhale out your nose. Gently open your mouth. Inhale through the mouth. Exhale out your mouth. Gently close your mouth. Inhale through your nose. Open your mouth. Exhale smoothly out your mouth. Keep your mouth open. Inhale through the mouth. Close your lips. Exhale out your nose. Inhale through the nose. Exhale out your nose. Open your mouth. Inhale through the mouth. Exhale out your mouth. Close your mouth. Inhale through your nose. Open your mouth. Exhale out your mouth. Inhale through the mouth. Close your mouth, exhale out your nose. Inhale through the nose. Exhale out the nose. Open mouth, inhale through the mouth. Exhale out your mouth. Close your mouth, inhale through the nose. Open your mouth, exhale. Inhale through the mouth. Close your mouth and exhale out your nose. Practice one more round on your own. Once you complete all 4 stages, slowly release the breath and take your time, take your own time. When you're ready, gently open your eyes.
Thank you very much for that. It almost felt as if I was in a cave on my own in the middle of the wilderness somewhere for 30 years, lost in the desert for 40 years, one of the two. Thank you for that.
Wow.
It was beautiful.
You're welcome.
So, did you finish that? So my question for you is, I recently had the
You
pleasure.
gotta speak now from a more relaxed tone. I'm like almost like in a daze.
Yeah.
So,
It's your you know, the breath work. It's like
Almost like alcohol.
it's like you just drank a cocktail that
Yes.
you made up within yourself. So you're organizing your internal chemistry when you do this work. And you know, every thought and every emotion that we have has a specific chemical basis to it. Anger has a chemical basis to it. Joy has a chemical basis to it. Frustration, anxiety, stress, harmony, ease, it all has a different chemical basis to it. And so when we breathe really intentionally and consciously in these really refined ways, we start to produce the internal chemistry that we want to experience. I think we all want to experience that ease and that peace and that just joy of being relaxed and settled. Sorry to interrupt you.
That was good. Is there a hormone that gets released when you do this, like oxytocin or like, you know?
Yeah, oxytocin is released, serotonin is released, GABA is released. You know, GABA is a really important neurotransmitter that is induced from physical activity, but physical activity with the breath tends to have a much more powerful effect on GABA. And GABA is a neurotransmitter that helps to deactivate the amygdala in the brain. The amygdala is like our alarm bell system in the brain. It's the part of the brain that's always searching for threats in the environment. And that's what gets overactivated when we're in a stress response or when we're anxious. So yes, the breath work is powerful on your hormones and on your neurotransmitters and on all of your feel-good hormones. So dopamine, serotonin, oxytocin, all of those feel-good hormones that make us feel a sense of belonging and connection and love and joy.
So I recently, am I calm enough for you? I recently watched a podcast with Joe Rogan, where he interviewed a fellow by the name of James Nestor, who wrote a book titled Breath, in which essentially he argues that there's too much breathing through the mouth that we do in today's day and age, and we've gone away from our more natural way of being to breathe through our nose almost entirely. And all kinds of scientific data for the benefits of breathing through the nose, all kinds of studies that were done with EKGs and, probably beyond my pay grade. I didn't study any of this stuff in rabbi school. What do you say to this idea? Is there any basis to this argument? Are you familiar with it?
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on the subject? Breathing through the mouth versus breathing through the nose?
And I'm going to expand on that question and why the lowering the anxiety breath utilizes both of those in a unique pattern.
Mm-hmm. So a few comments. A good girlfriend of mine actually just sent me that book, the breath book. And she said, you're going to love this book because it talks about everything that you've been talking to us about for years. So that was, and it's interesting, to understand the neuroscience and the physiology of breath and meditation. It's absolutely true. Science is catching up with yoga. Okay. The yogis have been doing these practices for thousands of years. Now science is starting to solidify through research the effectiveness of these practices on our brain and on our entire being. So, the neuroscience behind breath work and meditation is that more gray matter is produced in the prefrontal cortex of brain, and this strengthens our ability to really deactivate the amygdala, which is what is telling us to react and telling us to fight or flee. So these techniques absolutely have a very powerful neurological effect. And this is why I talk and relate the nervous system so much to breath work, because the breath and the nervous system are directly linked. So when you breathe shallow breaths, or when you're always breathing through the mouth, it actually affects the pressure in your chest. So to maintain equilibrium of pressure in the lungs, it's actually best to breathe through the nose. So mouth breathing, a lot of people are repetitively, compulsively breathing through the mouth. Now, when we control the breath, like we just did, it has a very different impact and effect on your system. Working the breath in those steps, inhale and exhale through the nose, inhale and exhale through the mouth. You may have noticed when you were breathing in through the mouth that you were able to really slow down the breath. It was like you were drinking in air. And when you were breathing out the mouth, you were able to really slow it down. And then you do the nose and the mouth, and then the mouth and the nose. And this is just, you're basically like recalibrating your whole system. You're breathing in all the different ways that you can breathe in a relaxed way to just reorganize and recalibrate the system. Now, most Most pranayama practices or breathwork practices are actually through the nose, but there are some that are with the mouth. But the primary understanding that I have about mouth breathing is that it affects the inner pressure of your lungs. And so breathing through the nose helps to really regulate the inner pressures. But you know, when we're stressed, we have a tendency to either hold our breath, we have a tendency to breathe rapidly, or we have a tendency to breathe really shallow. So we're not really getting much oxygen, which is why that first breathing technique, when you're in a sympathetic response, when you're in this overly activated stress response, to elongate the exhalation, to breathe slowly and smoothly in and out the nose is really effective.
What I'd like to do now is, I guess, open it up for open mic night for anyone to ask any questions that they have of Adi. You've been phenomenal. This has been so special. If anyone has any questions, please unmute yourself. Just do it yourself. And
Could I just say something? That thank you, Adi. Adi did this without charge to us. And if anybody would like to utilize Adi's incredible work, are you open now during COVID? Do you want to talk about how you're offering now if somebody does want to, you know, calm and relax with your help? How would they go about doing that?
Yeah, so we are offering Zoom classes, so you can participate with us from the comfort of your home. And then we also have a few really small semi-privates that are available in the studio. We're not really having group classes in the studio, but we will be offering, you know, I'll post every now and then. I kind of had to take a break from the whole digital world, but I do post sometimes meditations and breath work that you can do through Facebook or Instagram, and that's all free. And you know, I really feel that people taking charge of their own well-being, it should be available to every single person. It's really a right that we all have, and I just want to make things available. So
Very kind and generous. Anybody have any?
how would someone get in touch with you if they were interested in working with you going forward? Just practically, how would they find you?
You are welcome to email me at info@tetonyoga.com, or you can go to our website, www.tetonyoga.com, and get in touch with me.
Perfect. So anyone have questions, just go ahead. You don't need to lift up your hand. You don't need to send it into the chat box. Just unmute yourself and fire away. We're pretty
You might have to
casual.
put your hands like this so we can feel your energy.
If you don't ask questions, I'm going to. I have a bunch more to ask. I'm happy to do them. But I would love for people to...
Pamela.
Pamela, go ahead.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks for the time. Adi, one of the biggest influences in my life during my struggling college days was reading Be Here Now by Ram Dass. And he was quite an amazing young Jewish professor at Harvard that went many different ways and then came to all of the Hindu teachings that, and when he spoke with us, he at University of Houston in Texas, he had us do almost all the exercises you just did with us tonight before he spoke. And he said, this is for me as much as for you. But have you read any of his things? And I think he helped a lot of people get to their own spiritualities, I think, in this country. It was a great gift.
I actually
Had you read
have
any?
I actually have his book on this shelf, the Be Here Now book.
The Be Here
So
Now?
yes,
Yeah.
yes, the blue book over there. I don't know if you can see it. It's hard to see, but Yes, I am familiar with
Yeah.
his work, and he was an incredible man. And
We lost him
yeah,
last December. Yeah.
yeah. He was really pivotal in bringing a lot of the yogic processes and techniques to the West, and really the essence of yoga, not just the physical postures, which so many people associate yoga with
Thank you.
today. Yeah.
I'm sorry.
By the way, in his later life, he wrote
Steve,
Still
if
Here.
you're gonna talk, we want to see your beautiful face.
I'm not sure how to do that.
Oh,
But
Click the video one
Um,
on the bottom next to the unmute button.
start video. There you go.
Oh, there you
Anyway,
go.
Ram Dass had an effect on many of us, but he lived a long life and with a lot of changes. And at the end, he wrote a book called Still Here, that if you haven't read, it would be enjoyable to read.
Thank you. Yeah.
Instead of, he started with Be Here Now, and in his older, when he was young, and then he wrote Still Here.
thank you, Steve, for sharing that. I just wanted to let you all know that Steve and I, together with another friend, we study Dhammapada once a week with a introduction from Ram Dass in the printed version that we use. And we study it to compare and contrast it with Jewish ethics and philosophy. And it's a fascinating discussion that we have every week, Steve and I and another friend of ours. And it's always just mind-blowing, the conversation, always fascinating and always beautiful to spend time with good friends thinking about interesting ideas. Any other questions? Babs?
I don't have one, but I just wanted to say thank you. I study with Adi quite frequently, so she gets all my questions all the time.
Awesome. And it's so good to see you.
You too. Very nice to see you. Thank you for doing this.
Anyone else have any other questions? We have about 5 more minutes before we're gonna call it an evening. Wendy, great to see you.
Hi, hi. Can you hear me?
Yes, of course.
Okay. Yeah, no, I've been doing mindfulness for a long time and some yoga, but one of the things that always strikes me is with the in-breath, it's teshuvah, it's return again, every breath. And I always think of that, like, especially, during high holy days, but I just thought I would mention that because every breath, right? Every breath's a return of life.
Beautiful.
Thank
In
you,
fact,
Wendy, for
Thank
sharing
you.
that.
In
Sure.
Jewish tradition, we say a prayer every morning called
Yeah.
Modeh, which is the prayer to thank God for actually re-giving us our life, returning our soul. And when you recognize that, especially during this crazy COVID time, when you realize that every day, every breath is really a blessing, it definitely gives us a different outlook in our lives.
A different perspective.
Yeah. So it brings it all together,
And
the
that-
practices.
Yeah, and that's really so much of what yoga is bringing home, is our ability to really have a different point of view, to hold a different perspective in any given moment, and just recognizing the significance of this breath, recognizing the fragility of this breath, and having gratitude for each breath that we take. And again, that's available to you anytime, anywhere. And I think gratitude, especially for our breath, the breath of this life, it's one of the quickest ways out of your mental nonsense. It really is a quick way to just grounding back into the profundity of this life and this moment and this breath.
Any
Thank
more
you.
questions? Rhoda, looks like you came on. Great to see you. Please go ahead. Unmute yourself.
I came on a bit late because I had 3 other classes I was juggling at the same time in 2 other parts of the globe. But I'd be glad to share a thought with you and why I was interested in hearing Adi, and I did have you on my calendar earlier on the day, is that I'm a professor of voice and speech problems, and it's very interesting, the more complex the vocal problems, the fundamental treatment always begins with the breath. And I always teach, whether I'm teaching anatomy, physiology, or one person in my clinic, I'm always teaching the inhalation through the nose and the exhalation through the mouth, because it warms the breath, it filters the breath, and it's extremely relaxing. It slows the process down. And these are all things that we want to do to improve the voice, because the whole material and substance of voice is breath. No breath, no voice.
Rhoda, thank you for sharing that. You have a great voice.
Thank
That was
you.
fantastic.
I
Thank you
take
so
it
much.
with me everywhere I go.
Oh, I'm glad you do. Any final questions? We have about 1 more minute to get in a question with Adi. We want to respect her time and your time. If you have any final questions before we go, please go ahead. Unmute yourself and ask your questions. We'd love to hear them. Otherwise, I see Elon. Elon, you have any questions? Elon, we want to see
no,
your
I mean,
face.
Let me add something to the mix. James Nestor says, well, you know, and one of the things, we know we can learn all this stuff, but how to make it habitual. So we have to put some effort into it. And he does this trick when he goes to sleep. As you notice that when he sleeps, his mouth is open a lot, that he puts a little piece of tape on his lips. Not a big masking, you know, but a piece of tape just so he's aware to keep his mouth closed while he's sleeping, and it works. I haven't tried it, but it was very interesting, because it's hard to remember all these things every minute of our life, all the things that we're supposed to do.
Adi, any final words, any final comments you'd like to make?
I think, Steve, I just want to second what you just said. Stephen, you know, it really, to create a new healthy habit in your life, you have to practice and you have to discipline yourself. And it does take perseverance, and it's not always easy, you know, and this is actually how we rewire our brain, is by doing new things, repeating those new things, being challenged by what we're doing, having an emotional, you know, feeling and reward to what we're doing, and then really having awareness. So, you know, I just urge each and every one of you to take charge of the aspects of your being, and even when it's hard, still show up for yourself, because it's the greatest thing that we can do for this world and this planet. And once we can really harmonize and align with ourselves, we can harmonize with the entire existence. So thank you all for spending this evening with me. And thank you, Zaman and Razi, for inviting me.
Please put your hands together for an incredible evening. Thank you, Adi, so much for joining us for this. And one day I hope to perhaps study together with you the correlation between yoga and Hasidic philosophy and Kabbalah and Jewish mysticism. I think it would make for a fascinating discussion. There's also plenty of breathing and plenty of meditation in Jewish tradition, and I think it would be a fascinating, possibly we could share a stage together and talk about the similarities and differences at some point. But Adi, this was wonderful. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful night, everyone. Thanks again for joining us. Take care.
Thanks.
For those of you who would like to stick around to continue the dialogue, Adi, you're welcome to do so, but you don't need to. This formally concludes the evening. But for anyone who would like to continue the dialogue, please feel free to hang out. If you have any questions, suggestions, thoughts, ideas, Razi and I will stick around for another 10, 15 minutes, and we'd love to share any ideas together with you guys. Please feel free to open your mics. Everyone could go on at the same time, and we can just get
All talk
rowdy.
at once.
I'd love to see a quick yoga move from Zalman, if possible, from the
I'd
rabbi.
like to see one of my yoga moves.
Yes.
I would show it to you, but
There's not much space.
Hold on. One sec.
Oh,
Oh, my.
Yofi.
Wait, I missed that. He's doing a headstand.
got it.
Yofi. Just straight to headstand. No big deal.
Now, Rafi, come on webcam and beat that.
Okay, coming right along. 1 second. Oh, this is the back camera. All right. Wait, I can't see myself. Oh, here we go. 1 second.
Just
Wanna
don't
hold it?
challenge me to breakdancing because I'll beat you.
All right. I don't know if you can see, but head to the knees.
Oy. Oh, that was
That-
good.
Not bad.
Yeah, you bent over in half. Great job. No, Adi, I have a question. Do you
Yeah.
lose weight from doing yoga?
Do I what?
Do you lose weight? Like, can I lose weight from doing yoga? Like, if I'm looking to, like, you know, not just relax and calm myself, because that I do really well by napping. But if I want to, like, you know, also look at it sort of as a, you know, weight loss workout, does yoga accomplish that?
Absolutely. You know, yoga brings equilibrium. So wherever you're out of balance, whatever you have too much of, it will help you to get rid of. Whatever you have too little of, it will help you to boost. So yes, it can definitely regulate our weight
Okay, great.
in either direction, you know, too much or too little.
Okay, you could go for the higher and I'll go for the lower and it'll work out.
Together we'll find our equilibrium.
There you go.
Victor, any questions from you? Great to see you from Australia. Thank you for joining us.
Oh, wow. Someone's shaking.
Thank you. I've got to get back to work. It's afternoon here, but thank
We
you.
hope you've added some equilibrium, some relaxation
Some
and
peace.
and now you'll be able to work more focused.
Thank you. Always. Thank you.
Thank you, Victor.
Elon's raising his hand.
Elon, you got a question? Go ahead. Jump in. We want to see
Oh,
your face.
okay, hold on. Okay. Can you see me?
Yes.
All right, so thank you for giving this presentation. I thought it was really insightful and I liked the breathing exercises. So my question is, do you have a preference philosophically towards any tradition in the yoga tradition? So Vipassana or any of the other strains from India? What are your thoughts on that?
I think it's very personal. I think that, again, different people need different things at different stages of their lives. And I think that really keeping the doors open and exploring the different systems of yoga, but in your exploration, really giving your time to one for an extended period. And that's more than a month. You know, that's like minimum 6 months to a few years to really digest one system. But there's so many systems of yoga and one is not necessarily better than another. It's really a matter of finding what fits you at the stage of your life that you're in. So sorry, I can't give you a specific.
No, that's all right. Thank you.
Yeah.
Any other questions?
I have a quick question. I know that in some yoga classes, they integrate some tunes and sounds. Can you speak a little bit about that and how that contributes to the yoga practice?
Well, I think that music can be very helpful for people to get out of their head. You know, in this day and age, modern yoga is like throwing in so many different strategies. And what's popular is sometimes what kind of defeats the point. So I think you just have to, you know, really be discerning. If you're always like attracted to a rock and roll class and you're only scratching the surface, you're only going skin deep, you know, I would challenge yourself to go a little bit more. But even in meditations, you know, there can be really supportive music to help in a meditation practice. So I think it depends on what the music is, you know, is it really helping you to go deeper? Is it really helping you to penetrate? And quietude is also really, really important in the yogic process. So if you're always going towards music, you know, make some time to also have a quiet practice.
Yeah, just to clarify, I was going to say the humming that's done by the participants of the
Oh,
class.
yes. So when you
Toning
or
of
when
the
you hum,
Om
yeah.
and Aum. Yeah.
Yeah, so there's a lot of power to sound in that regard. There's actually a lot of bija mantras in the yogic systems that help to activate the different chakras, the different energy wheels within the body, and which ultimately activate your entire energy system. So I am very fond and I'm very much a fan of oming practice. It's actually a significant part of my daily practice is oming. And oming also, the hum at the end of the actually activates the pituitary and the pineal gland in the brain, which helps to release serotonin and oxytocin. The other sounds, ah and you, activate 3 centers in the body: around the navel center, which is your maintenance center, around the heart center, which is your knowledge center, your creative center, your intelligence, and then through the head region of the body, which really stimulates and activates your energy and your power. So when the sound is chanted evenly, ah, oo, and it really brings harmony to those 3 aspects of the self, of, you know, maintenance and sustenance, knowledge and creativity, and then energy and power. And it's a very powerful practice. And I do recommend sound practices like that. I thought you were referring to playing music in classes.
Yeah, sorry I wasn't clear about that.
It's okay.
That was fascinating. That was a great question. That's so interesting. Does it also help slow down the breath when you start doing the does that slow the breath as well?
So an oming practice, you om on an exhalation. So the exhalation is absolutely elongated and extended when you practice om.
So interesting. Adi, this was fascinating. I hope that after this COVID situation passes, we'll have the opportunity to have your family over for a Shabbat dinner. We would love that. See you all in person. And I have a 7-year-old son who would be thrilled to have another little boy to play with. But this was really so informative, so interesting. We had a great following on Facebook. I think everybody here really loved it. So really, thank you for giving us your time and your knowledge, your wisdom and talent, sharing with us all tonight.
Thank you. It was really fun. Thank you.
Have a great night.
You guys have a good evening. Thank you.
Take care.
Thank you.